Hello and welcome to God's Hand Link, Decode Occult Science. As of mid-August 2025, China continues to battle a significant chikungunya outbreak, primarily centered in Guangdong province, with over 8,000 confirmed cases reported in recent weeks, making it the largest documented outbreak in mainland China's history. The outbreak's impact on people typically involves sudden high fever and severe joint pain, which can be debilitating and, in some cases, persist for months or even years, though severe illness and fatalities remain rare, primarily affecting infants, older adults, or those with underlying health conditions. In response, Chinese authorities have implemented aggressive containment measures, including mandatory hospital isolation with mosquito nets, fines for non-compliance with mosquito breeding site elimination, and widespread insecticide spraying using drones. The virus's spread is amplified by unusually heavy rains and high temperatures, which create ideal breeding conditions for the Aedes mosquitoes responsible for transmission. While the outbreak's epicenter is in Foshan, Taiwan has reported its first imported case from China, and the virus continues its global circulation, with major outbreaks identified by the WHO and ECDC in Indian Ocean Islands, La Réunion, Mayotte, Mauritius, parts of Africa, Kenya, Somalia, South America, Brazil, Bolivia, Argentina, Peru, and other Asian countries, India, Sri Lanka, Singapore, underscoring the ongoing international concern and the need for heightened surveillance in regions with suitable mosquito populations and increased travel. This is more than just a disease news report. This is one of the disease on God's doomsday. So, today let's pray for Prayer China and Other Countries Disease 2025. Praying for the good people affected by chikungunya outbreak in China and other countries to overcome their destiny situation. The following are details about chikungunya outbreak 2025. Presented in 5 parts. First, evolution. Second, effects. Third, causes. Fourth, solution. And fifth, manual. The last 2 parts will guide you on how to click the Pray button on the godshand.link website. If you pray sincerely, you will be able to open God's gate to successfully connect with God and receive God's beatitude to successfully help the people you are praying for. Now, let's take a look at the evolution of chikungunya outbreak. Evolution. Evolution and global spread of the outbreak. Origin and intensification in China. The chikungunya outbreak in China, unprecedented in its scale for the mainland, began with symptom onset as early as the 16th of June, 2025, and a significant cluster identified in Foshan City, Guangdong Province, by the 9th of July. Cases rapidly escalated, reaching 4,824 confirmed infections across 12 Guangdong cities by the 26th of July, primarily concentrated in Foshan's Shunde district. By early August, confirmed cases in Guangdong surpassed 7,000, with some reports indicating over 8,000 infections by the 8th of August, marking the largest documented outbreak in China's history. While Chinese state media suggested a potential peak and downward trend in new cases in Foshan during the first week of August, the overall situation remains under close monitoring. China's response has been robust. In Foshan, the government is mandating hospital isolation for confirmed patients and strictly enforcing fines for those who don't eliminate mosquito breeding sites. They're also deploying drones for widespread insecticide spraying, an effort made even more urgent by recent heavy rains that have created perfect conditions for mosquitoes to flourish. International transmission. The outbreak's evolution includes confirmed international spread. Hong Kong reported its first imported case, a 12-year-old boy who had traveled to Foshan on the 2nd of August, followed by a probable local case by the 10th of August. Taiwan confirmed its first imported case from China on the 8th of August, involving a woman who had traveled from Foshan. Singapore has seen its chikungunya cases double to 17 by the 2nd of August, with most linked to travel from outbreak areas abroad. Global resurgence. 2025 marks a significant global resurgence of chikungunya, with approximately 240,000 cases and 90 deaths reported across 16 countries by July. Major outbreaks include Indian Ocean Islands. La Réunion reported over 54,000 cases by the 18th of July, and Mayotte recorded 1,098 cases. Americas. This region accounts for the highest number of cases globally, with Brazil reporting over 185,000 cases by mid-July, contributing to over 209,000 cases and 3 fatalities across the Americas. Africa and other Asian countries' continued transmission has been reported in Kenya, Somalia, India, and Sri Lanka. Symptoms of chikungunya. Chikungunya is a mosquito-borne viral disease. Symptoms typically appear 4 to 8 days after a bite from an infected mosquito, ranging from 2 to 12 days, and can vary in intensity. Key symptoms include sudden high fever. A rapid onset of fever is a hallmark symptom. Severe joint pain. Arthralgia. Often debilitating. This pain is a defining symptom. The name, chikungunya, means that which bends up, due to the contorted posture of sufferers. It commonly affects wrists, ankles, knees, and fingers. While many recover within a week, this joint pain can persist for weeks, months, or even years, mimicking conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. Other symptoms: muscle pain, headaches, nausea, fatigue, joint swelling, and a rash are also common. Severe cases. While severe complications are uncommon, they can occur in young babies, older adults, and individuals with underlying health conditions, sometimes leading to organ damage, or rarely, death. Treatments and vaccines. Treatment. Currently, there is no specific antiviral treatment or cure for chikungunya. Treatment focuses on supportive care and relieving symptoms. This includes rest, staying hydrated, water, juices, clear soups, and managing fever and pain with medications like acetaminophen, paracetamol. It's crucial to avoid aspirin and NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, until dengue is ruled out, as they can increase the risk of bleeding. Physical therapy may be beneficial if joint pain and stiffness persist. Vaccines. 2 chikungunya vaccines have received regulatory approvals in several regions. IXCHIQ, live attenuated vaccine, approved for adults aged 18 and older. While previously paused for those 65 and above due to safety concerns, the FDA lifted this pause for IXCHIQ on the 7th of August, 2025, following updated safety evaluations. Chikungunya, virus-like particle vaccine, approved for individuals aged 12 and older. Availability. These vaccines are generally targeted at travelers and laboratory workers at risk of exposure, and are not yet widely available or in widespread use in the countries most affected by chikungunya, including China. There is currently no locally registered chikungunya vaccine in Hong Kong. Recommendations. Vaccination is recommended for travelers visiting areas with active outbreaks or those planning extended stays in high-risk zones, as well as for laboratory workers. Pregnant individuals and older adults should discuss risks and benefits with a healthcare provider. Prevention remains key. Given the limited availability of vaccines and lack of specific treatments, preventing mosquito bites through repellents, protective clothing, and eliminating breeding grounds remains the most effective strategy to control the spread of the virus. Effects. The chikungunya outbreak in China and its global spread in 2025 are significantly impacting various aspects of people's lives. Health and well-being. Direct illness and debilitation. The primary impact is the debilitating illness itself. Individuals experience sudden high fever and severe, often excruciating joint pain that can persist for weeks, months, or even years, mimicking conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. Other common symptoms include muscle aches, headaches, nausea, fatigue, and rashes. Increased risk for vulnerable groups. While generally not fatal, severe cases and rare deaths are primarily observed in young babies, older adults, 65 years or older, and individuals with underlying medical conditions, such as diabetes or heart disease. Some patients may also develop neurological or ocular complications. Mental health impact. The unfamiliarity and potential for prolonged suffering from the disease have stirred anxiety among the public, with online discussions reflecting fears about long-term joint complications. Healthcare systems. Overwhelmed resources. The rapid surge in cases, notably with over 8,000 confirmed cases in Guangdong province alone by early August, puts immense strain on local healthcare systems, requiring significant resources for testing, diagnosis, and patient management. Mandatory isolation. In affected Chinese cities like Foshan, patients diagnosed with chikungunya are subjected to mandatory hospitalization in mosquito-proof wards, sometimes for at least a week, or until a negative test, to prevent further mosquito-to-human transmission. Diagnostic challenges. In regions where chikungunya is not typically endemic, its symptoms can be difficult to distinguish from other fever-causing illnesses like dengue, leading to diagnostic challenges and the need for strengthened training for healthcare professionals. Economic activities. Business disruption. The outbreak and stringent control measures, including discouraged outdoor activity, have led to a drop in footfall for brick and mortar, consumer-facing businesses, and put a strain on industrial and commercial operations in harder-hit areas like Guangdong. Productivity loss. Globally, the economic burden of chikungunya includes direct costs from hospitalizations, treatments and medications, and substantial indirect costs, primarily from lost productivity due to patient and caregiver absenteeism. Travel impact. The U.S. CDC has issued a Level 2 travel advisory for Guangdong province, suggesting enhanced precautions for travelers, which can affect travel and tourism. Global chikungunya outbreak. The global resurgence, with approximately 240,000 cases and 90 deaths reported across 16 countries by July 2025, including major outbreaks in Indian Ocean islands and the Americas, signifies a widespread challenge that places pressure on health security measures worldwide due to increased global travel and climate change expanding mosquito habitats. Countries like Vietnam are proactively stepping up surveillance due to these regional surges. Causes. Lack of pre-existing immunity. In China, a primary cause for the rapid spread in mainland China, particularly in Guangdong province, is that chikungunya has never been established there before. This means the local population has no pre-existing immunity to the virus, making it highly susceptible to quick transmission. Favorable climatic conditions for mosquitoes. Unusually heavy rains and high temperatures. Southern China has experienced unusually heavy rains and high temperatures in 2025. These conditions have worsened the crisis by boosting mosquito activity and creating abundant, stagnant water sources, ideal breeding grounds for Aedes mosquitoes. Climate change. Globally, rising temperatures due to climate change are expanding the habitats suitable for Aedes mosquitoes, which are the primary vectors for chikungunya. This environmental suitability increases the risk of outbreaks in new regions. Presence of competent mosquito vectors. The virus is transmitted by infected Aedes mosquitoes, particularly Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus. Both species are prevalent in southern China and other affected regions globally, thriving in urban environments and breeding in small pools of standing water around human habitation. Aedes albopictus is noted for its adaptability to cooler climates and urban settings, making it a key driver of spread in subtropical regions like Guangdong. Imported cases and global mobility. Travel-related introductions. The outbreak in China was likely triggered by an imported case in July, though the specific origin was not identified. High levels of global travel and international exchanges in regions like Guangdong significantly increase the risk of infected individuals, bringing the virus into new areas. Spillover to neighboring regions. Once introduced, a single infected traveler in a mosquito-prone area can lead to a local outbreak, as seen with cases confirmed in Hong Kong and Taiwan following travel to Foshan. Urbanization and human density. Urban expansion and dense populations create environments where Aedes mosquitoes can thrive, and where the virus can spread quickly among a large number of susceptible individuals. Limitations in surveillance and diagnostic capacity. Global. While China has implemented stringent measures, accurate and timely global. Chikungunya epidemiological data is often limited, because many countries lack sufficient capacity for routine surveillance, case detection, and access to diagnostic tests, potentially leading to underreporting and hindering effective response. Above is a detailed summary of the causes behind Chikungunya outbreak 2025, as reported by news sources. But if the main cause is God's doomsday, what should we do? Solution: solve by a reform prayer in Pray God's Will page at https://godshand.link/praygodswill, address, with a phrase search as Prayer China and Other Countries Disease 2025. Praying for the good people affected by Chikungunya outbreak in China and other countries to overcome their destiny situation. And click Pray button. Here, you can also scroll up and click on this video to see details about God's supreme message. Follow God's doomsday to pray God's will. Manual. For more information about how to pray on the God's Hand Link website, please refer to Pray God's Will user manual page at https://godshand.link/pray-God's-will user manual, address. By clicking the Pray button, you have contributed to helping the good people who are victims of the Chikungunya outbreak 2025. Your small acts of kindness are like seeds that can grow into a forest of compassion and love. Helping others is not only about material support, but also about spiritual support. Because the material originates from intention, a prayerful intention of yours will bring about the transformation of the material world according to God's will. Thank you for helping. God's Hand Link. Thanks for helping. To decode occult science,